James 3 verse 15 says, "This wisdom descends not from above, but is earthly, sensual, and devilish." So if we look at life and we judge our spiritual condition through the eyes of our flesh, through the eyes of how we feel, through the eyes of our circumstances and our five senses, we're probably going to get a bad reading. It is not a good compass to use to navigate spirituality, because who knows, feelings are so fickle. You can feel great one minute and the next minute you can feel bad. It can be based on how good of a sleep you had last night. It can be based on whether the sun is shining, whether you had your morning coffee or not yet. Feelings are so subjective. They have nothing to do with what truth is according to Scripture. And it actually says that this way of reasoning about ourselves is sensual, sense-based, and demonic. It's devilish. It's something that the world operates in. It's not what sons and daughters of God are meant to operate in. So if we look at life and judge through the eyes of our circumstances, our feelings, and our emotions, it's called demonic. Because it's not based on faith in what he said, it's based on faith in how we feel. And in that place, we're actually putting our feelings above what God himself has said, whether or not my feelings line up with that yet. And I want to live from a place, and I'm beginning more and more to live from a place where, despite what's happening around me, despite how I feel, I'm trusting in what he says as being truth. And I operate in that, and I see way more victory. And that's faith, guys. You know, faith implies an aspect of the unknown. And if you don't know something, you have to, there's an aspect where faith has to leap the gap for you. So because you're feeling your guilt screams so loud, Jesus says you are forgiven. Unless you got a personal visit from Jesus and he slapped you in the face and said, "Stop it, you're free." But I haven't had that. Maybe you have. Email me if you have. I'd love to hear the story. But most of us live in this world where our senses and our own personal judgments based on our logic and reasoning dictate what's true for us. But there's no faith in that place because it has nothing to do with what God has said.